So I got through watching this movie for the first time last night. Now when I saw the TV spot for this movie 5 years ago, I didn't show that much interest because it just looked incredibly silly. But then my best friend's little brother told me to review this movie, so I decided after a year to take up his offer on it. And after watching it, I thought it was actually good. This actually creates its own video game world that's actually based in reality. It's fast-paced and really colorful, and it blasts all the sound effects and the colors out into your face, just making you immerse into this world. Now, I must admit that I never showed any interest in Michael Cera's work because he just looks too weird and geeky. The way he behaved on the sets of some of his past films just showed that he hasn't quite learned to grow up yet. However, since this is probably the first movie I've ever seen of him, I actually thought he wasn't that bad. He is well aware of the environment that the director has placed him in, and he does a pretty good job with the material he was given, even if he comes off a little dorky at times. So what's the story to this movie? Scott Pilgrim is a down-his-luck bass guitarist playing for this band called Sex Bob Om. I have to say that the way that this film opened, with the style of the Universal logo in old-school Sega Genesis mode, sets the tone really well for this film. He meets this girl who comes to his front door, and get this, her name is Knives Chow. Get it? He goes out with this girl for a bit until he doesn't realize that something sinister is being set up for him. One thing about it is that the girl Knives Chow will come to play an important part later in the film. He's sleeping in his apartment one night with his roommate, who is played by Kieran Culkin. And this dream takes place out in the desert, which is another foreshadowing for near the climax of this film. There's a beautiful hippie girl walking by him in his dream, and he wants to get to know her. It turns out that the girl is real when he meets her at a party with his band one night, and he finds out her name is Ramona Flowers, played by the lovely Mary Elizabeth Winstead. This girl puts on a decent performance in this film, even though most of the time she stands around with a vacuous expression on her face. Now, Scott wants to be with this girl, but unfortunately, in order to be with her, he has to defeat her 7 ex-boyfriends. From there, Scott has to go on an incredible adventure across town to defeat all of his minions in order to win the girl of his dreams. One of her ex-boyfriends is a movie star called Lucas Lee, who is played by Chris Evans. All these guys' acting performances in here are hammy and so over the top, but I'm just glad that they're aware of the kind of movie that they are based in. But as soon as the characters start laying down and kicking some butt, the action is so fast-paced, over-the-top, and cheesy, it just makes you hollow and cheer for a hero as he's taking on all of his enemies. For a video game-esque world based kinda in reality, captions appear trying to keep you drawn into the plot. 2 characters are about to fight, and it shows in big, bold letters, versus. Flashing lights, bolts of lightning going right in your face. Kapow! Bam! Wham! And to make it even more silly, the enemies burst into thousands of coins when they're taken down. The man who is responsible for making this film is none other than Edgar Wright. He did not make this film to be stupid on purpose because he was well aware of what he was getting himself into here. A very unique style and the way a video game based film should be. Yeah, I understand why people don't like this film, but you know what? That hasn't stopped me from having such a great time with it. I'll give Scott Pilgrim vs. the World an 8 out of 10. So what movie should I review next? Let me know down in the comments down below. And I will see you all again on the flip side.